Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm in my Mini Cooper S, which I picked up exactly a week ago, and in this video today what I'm gonna go through is that drive. I've been driving this car for about a week. I've been commuting in it, I've been doing my shopping in it and the rest, so I've got a good feel for how this car drives compared to my M4. It's not on the same par, as most of you will obviously agree to that, but do I actually miss the M4 now that I've got the R53? So what we're going to do in this vid is give you a start up, quick walk around, give it that exhaust sound which I didn't do on my last vid, and then take you on those country lanes and see how this car actually drives on those country lanes where I spend most of my time driving my M4. So it's going to be a real nice kind of a drive because this car has been quite a pleasure to own over the last week. I've not had enough of this car, even though it's a 17-year-old car. So yeah, what we're going to do now is quickly do a quick walk around, give it a start up, some revs, and yeah, hit those lanes. So this is my Mini Cooper S, which I picked up exactly a week ago today. It's finished off in the electric blue. It looks quite different compared to how it was last week because I've kind of de-chavved it a little bit. And what I mean by that is the front end, for example, was not like the way it's looking right now. So the lights, they were all de-chromed around here on the surrounds. There was this horrible film all over the headlight, which I've obviously taken off. The grill had some funny wrap going on, so I just broke that grill off as I tried to take it off, and I've replaced it with this non-OEM JCW one. I think the front end now looks really clean. Let me know what you guys think of the front end in the comments below. I really wanted to give the car a bit of originality back, or bring some of that back, and I think I've kind of achieved that by de-chroming it and obviously putting on this JCW replica grille. Some of you guys might remember from my last vid, there was like a horrible 90s style sunshade going on here with Cooper S written on it. That's now come off, and again I just think it looks so much better without it. The side mirrors, they had some horrible wrap which was all kind of ripping from the sides here, and I'll rip that off as well because I wanted to again bring back some of the originality and see what condition these caps were like underneath. So looks pretty good now anyway, bringing it back, and I think it kind of suits the electric blue with the white mirror caps as well. And obviously the roof was also wrapped in black, gloss black. The quality of it wasn't really that great because, as you can see, or maybe you can't, but there's a few sort of scuff marks on the roof like over here, and all of that was portraying through onto the wrap, so that had to just come off. It was a pain of a job. I took about 2 hours yesterday taking the wrap off, and obviously I've got blisters all over my fingers and kind of plastered them all off anyway. And the same kind of story continues on the roof spoiler. I had to unbolt the roof spoiler to take the wrap off, and it was really peeling around here, as some of you guys might remember from my last vid when I went through it. So now the car is obviously back to original, bar the alloy wheels, electric blue, white roof. I think it looks absolutely stunning. Let me know what you guys think of these replica BBS wheels. They're not the split rims because obviously it's all one piece here, but again I kind of think that the car looks pretty good with them. But let me know what you guys think of that. Moving around the back end of the car, we've got a kind of a straight pipe cat back, makes a nice sound. Again, non OEM, but give you a start up. And these were really like badly dirty yesterday as well, and I've got the good old T-cut out the auto sol and gave it a bit of a clean. Still need to do a little bit more work around here, but that's just something for another day. Oh, and another thing, this chrome strip was wrapped in black using wiring tape, you know, that black kind of wiring tape that you get. So that came off, and it left a lot of horrible residue all around it, which I then had to use the auto sol to clear that up. So personally I think the car looks absolutely stunning now in the way it is. Kind of brought it back to its former glory, but you know, those wheels, I think they might stay, but who knows, might change them over at some point. So there's a few mods that are going on under the bonnet here. If I can get the catch release, there we go. So one of the things that I've just changed recently is the intercooler, because this car is running a Cavs 17% reduced pulley, as you can probably see down there. The previous owners didn't really change the intercooler, and I just thought it'd be best to, as a preventative maintenance thing, just go ahead and change that so that the car breathes a little bit easier. This is just an eBay special part. I think it was in the region of about £115. I did go for some aftermarket boots as well, which were the blue ones, but there was a bit of issue trying to fit them on, so I just replaced them with the stock ones, because it just gives it a bit of a nice kind of a fit and finish. The only thing that I had to do was, you got this like a little plastic plate that runs across here, and I was in the process of removing it and it kind of snapped off. So this is a 62mm intercooler, so the bonnet was kind of quite flush against it and that had to just come off, so I just kind of snapped it off, just kind of broke off in the process. But now I've noticed that the car is a little bit more responsive on the throttle, makes a nice kind of a whooshing sound as well, you know, or the supercharger whine. So yeah, I think that's a worthy upgrade. Probably the only upgrade I'm going to do under the bonnet. If there are any others that you guys know about, then let me know. One thing I have noticed is on this, there's no air scoop or a direct feed into the airbox. So as you can see, there's the little feed there, but there's no pipe attached to it, so I'm not really sure what's happened there. Temps are holding up quite well, but that's something I'm going to be addressing very soon. Now my boot is in a bit of a mess, and that is because I've got quite a few things in the boot. I've got these brake lines here, which are the Hell brake lines. They're brand new, they're still packed, they're braided. I am selling these, so if there's anyone watching this vid and interested in these parts, then yeah, just, you know, get in touch with me through my Instagram or send me a message, and you know, we'll get them out to you guys. I've also got a short shifter kit here. Again, this is brand new. Let's try and take this out if I can. So there it is, short shifter kit. There's a few more kind of fixtures and fittings under there. Sounds like a bit of a car boot sale here right now, but it is what it is. So yeah, this basically makes your gear shift a little bit shorter, a bit more sportier. I think this is literally for this R53. Again, if you're interested in this brand new part, then just let me know. And here I have got some R56 brake calipers. They do need powder coating, they do need a clean up. They're quite heavy, and I believe that's a full set there. So again, if you are interested in those, then hit me up again, and hopefully we can get them across to you, depending on, they do weigh quite a bit, so yeah, it might be a local collection, but they are there if you guys are after them. So moving on to the interior of the car, it's pretty much in decent nick. The car's got 125,000 miles, doesn't have the chili pack, but it has got cruise control and a multifunction steering wheel with the stereo controls on the back. But what I do like is that it's very original. It's got the original stereo in there, and it is fairly clean car, so I am quite happy with the way, you know, with this purchase. These seats, they're decent enough, they're quite clean. There's a bit of a rip there, but kind of expected on a 125k mile 17-year-old car, I suppose. But yeah, what we're going to do now is give the car a start up and some revs. So this car comes with an old-fashioned key as opposed to a fob like I have in my BMW M4 and the G20. So yeah, key into the keyhole over there, and my main worry around such an old car is it going to start? Oh. So if I say so myself, I think the Mini Cooper S sounds absolutely amazing. It actually sounds better than my M4, the pops and the crackles. I am gonna do a comparison rev match against the M4 and this car once I've got them both together again. But it's a right hoon to drive. I absolutely love it. So what we're gonna do now is take you on those roads and give you my impressions of my Mini Cooper S R53. This car is all about that supercharger whine. I absolutely love the way this car sounds. I mean, for a 17-year-old car, the way this thing still drives is absolutely amazing, and it's a testament to the previous ownership of this car. So, like I said, the car's got 125,000 miles. A lot of the stuff has been changed, so it's running the Teflon supercharger, it's had the timing guides replaced, and from what I can tell from like the paperwork, it's had, you know, decent kind of service history throughout, you know, its previous life. For the money, I think it's very hard to beat. I paid around 2.5 grand for this, you know, with the kind of mods that I've done to it, with like say the intercooler and like say the grill and whatnot. It's very hard to beat. 2.5k with this amount of power. I mean, I think it's pushing around about the 180 horsepower mark. You know, I'm yet to get it on a dyno, but like I say, for the money, it's very hard to beat. To get this amount of fun out of a car and for it to perform like the way it does. All I can say is, for the last week that I've been driving this car, it's pretty much up there with most of my cars that I've actually owned, which have been much newer. So for example, my Honda Civic Type R FK2, you know, which was like a right hoon to drive, it's up against that in terms of like say how it handles and whatnot. Honestly, every time I'm driving this car, it always brings a huge smile to my face, and you know, that's part of like the whole kind of fun factor in driving it. I mean, these seats, they're okay, you know, they're not hugely supportive, but they hold you in the right places, I suppose. The steering is like the best part of the car as well, because you got a real good feel coming through the steering. Unlike modern cars where they're all a bit, you know, wallowy and there's not much feel, this communicates really well with you, what the tires are doing, how they're gripping, where the corners are, and all of that feeds through right to like your palm of your hands, and it's just amazing how all of that comes together. The gearbox as well, it's quite a mechanical throw. It's quite notchy in its operation. It's not the slickest, but it's quite a positive change, if that makes sense. So again, quite happy with the way that communicates with the driver as well. And then you got the pedals as well, and they're quite nicely weighted, the clutch and like, you know, the brake and the accelerator, they're quite nicely weighted, quite nicely spaced out. You do have to play the car quite a bit. That supercharger whine, absolutely love it. This thing can hit 60 miles an hour in second gear. This has got to be one of my oldest cars that I've ever bought, you know, for a personal use, and probably one of the high miler ones as well. 125,000 miles. I was on the R53 owners group yesterday, and someone had put up a post to ask what mileage people are running their cars, and I was surprised to see some of the Mini Cooper S's running at like 160, 170,000 miles. There was one I recall which was over 200,000 miles. So it gives me a bit of confidence that 125,000 miles for this car is hardly any mileage. But the thing is, mileage is kind of irrelevant once you're starting to upgrade all the parts on the car. So if you're keeping on top of, like say, the maintenance and keeping the car well maintained, then the mileage becomes kind of irrelevant to a point. If things have never been changed, or if the maintenance has never been, like say, done on time, and you're running 125,000 miles, then you know it's a cause for concern. One particular thing about this car was, when I was sourcing this car, was that when I was looking at the MOT history, there was none of that kind of repeat advisories that kept cropping up, which then just generally meant that, you know, the car was, you know, addressed like accordingly. So if there was an advisory, it was addressed. The only advisories was that silly, you know, product on the headlights which were reducing visibility. That's now been addressed anyway. whereas some of them that I was seeing, it was like an oil leak, and then the following year was an oil leak again, and the following year was an oil leak. So it felt like on this one all the advisories were kind of checked, and you know, they were kind of addressed in time, or unless the MOT centre was just, you know, a bit lazy and didn't find any advisories or didn't record any. So there is that risk. I am getting this car for my own benefit. I'm getting it fully inspected in the course of next sort of a week, just so that it gives me a bit of peace of mind that, you know, I am driving something that is one, roadworthy because it has got an MOT, and secondly, you know, everything's fine. You know, there's no like oil leaks or anything like that that are of concern. So hopefully that is yet to come. But overall, I am really impressed with the way this car drives. There's no horrible sort of knocking noises. There are a few things that I do need to kind of talk about, and I'll do that in another vid, like all the things that are wrong with like my R53 Mini Cooper S, and I will talk about that, and hopefully some of you guys might be able to help me out or point me in the direction of what needs doing. Without looking at the mileage, I would never have thought that this car, on the way this car drives and feels, I would never have thought that the car's a 125 mile car, or 125,000 miles on the clock car. In terms of ride quality, even that, I can't even say that it's I can't even say that the ride quality is like really firm. I mean, obviously having the M4 kind of helps in a way, compare it to like a modern car. It's firm, but it's not like it's like rock hard, so it's compliant, to be honest with you. You do feel like the bumps and stuff when you're going over, like say, potholes and undulations in the road and whatnot, but it's not too bad. If you guys have never been in an R53 Mini Cooper S, I strongly suggest that you go and get yourself in one, only because the amount of fun that you're gonna have, you are guaranteed to walk away from the car with a huge smile or a huge grin on your face, because like I say, for the money, the car has so much character and it has so much fun factor with the way it actually performs. So this is my first time owning an R53. We did have one in the family about 16 years ago when these were like brand new at the time. I was quite young at the time, so I wasn't really insured even as a named driver to drive it. But I do remember like just sometimes just sitting behind the wheel and playing with like the controls and the gearbox and whatnot, and it still feels the same like 17 years on in this particular model. So it just kind of shows that these cars are built, you know, to last if they've like, you know, been, you know, fairly like maintained well, I guess. What I really like about it is that, like modern cars, they obviously drive you in a way, because it's all like, oh, you can just take a seat back and, you know, it's really light and everything like that, whereas this, you've got to drive the car. It's manual, it's, you know, there's lots of feel coming through. Most of it's hydraulic, there's no complicated electronics going on, so it's like you do get a real nice kind of a feel when, you know, you are just driving and just pushing on. Guys, I hope you have found this video useful and enjoyable to watch. If you're looking to get an R53 for the first time, just get off that fence and just go ahead and buy one. You'll have so much fun in it. If you found this video useful and enjoyable, give it a like, share, subscribe to the channel, and there'll be plenty more content to come on the R53 Mini Cooper S. Hopefully guys, I'll see you on the next vid. Take care, bye. Give you your downshift and the throttle.